Are conservative Christians being inconsistent when they deny SNAP benefits to families, yet want strict abortion laws? If you think there's an inconsistency here, or you want a better way to explain why these aren't in conflict, stick around as I try to untangle the web without heat, just light. Now, you've probably heard this claim or something like it. If you are truly pro-life, you'd support every government welfare program. Otherwise, you're only caring about birth and not children. Now, that line sounds tidy, but it blurs categories and creates confusion. It assumes the only consistent way to care for vulnerable people is through federal programs. Also, it assumes that structures are the ones truly responsible for being in need. It also assumes that all abortion debates are about ending of pregnancy, which isn't true, and it leads to bad laws and bad faith. Let's look at some necessary background. Two things that we need to keep in place to kind of keep us honest here. What we mean by elective abortion. Now, following the example from the website Secular Pro-Life, by elective abortion, I mean the intentional killing of the unborn human being as a means or ends of terminating pregnancy. This does not include miscarriage management after the baby has already died. Treatment of ectopic pregnancies where the goal is to resolve a dangerous medical condition, not to kill the child. Now, early delivery to save the life of the mother when doctors attempt to preserve the child if possible. Intent here is the hinge. If the aim is a dead fetus, it's abortion. If the aim is to treat disease or delivery or early death is foreseen side effect, that is not the goal. It isn't an elective abortion. Now, let's also talk about the order of care. Now, Scripture consistently places responsibility in an order. Family first, then local communities and church, and only then a civil backstop where those closer support fails. That's not an excuse to neglect anyone. It's a way of assigning duties to help, and where that help is personal and accountable and restorative. So let's lay a bit of foundation here. With those two guide rails, here's the framework I'm using. The state's non-negotiable job is justice, protecting people from being wronged, especially protecting innocent life. That's why Christians see elective abortion, intentional feticide, as a justice issue, like any other intentional killing of any other human being. Material aid to the poor is also a biblical mandate, but Scripture primarily assigns that to families and local communities and also the church, with a civil authority as a limited backstop when closer institutions can't or won't act. So we have two real obligations, protecting life and caring for the poor, but different primary tools and forums for each. Here's the simple, consistent position. On elective abortion, the state should prohibit the intentional killing of unborn human beings. That's equal protection for the most vulnerable. This position does not ban miscarriage care, ectopic treatment, or medically indicated early delivery when the goal is to save lives. On feeding kids, children must be fed. Full stop. The first line is the family responsibility. When family breaks down or lacks the means, the local church and community should step in with relational, accountable help. Where those fail or the need exceeds capacity, a civil backstop can prevent acute harm, ideally delivered locally, time-bound, and designed to restore family responsibility rather than replace it. Now, that's not hypocrisy. It's consistency across different kinds of moral duties. Let's look at some possible objections here. Here's a consistent, compassionate approach and what it looks like in practice. Clear abortion law language that prohibits intentional fetal killing, explicitly excludes miscarriage management and ectopic treatment, and medically indicated early delivery where death is not intended. Document clinical intent in the medical record to protect emergency care. Also, order anti-hungry policies that keep rapid response benefits for children so that no child misses meals. Locally delivered aid through counties and accredited nonprofits, including faith-based ones, to help attach relational support and budgeting and job help. Also, smooth benefit cliffs so work always pays more than not working. Enforce wage and theft laws. Now, again, guys, justice cuts both ways and targets fraud. This isn't a do-nothing approach. It's do the right thing in the right order so help actually heals. And we're going to look at some pointed objections here. Now, objection number one, but the Bible shows that national structures helping the poor. Yes, Old Testament embeds protection for the vulnerable into public life. In the New Testament, the church takes on a more formal and pastoral care role, while rulers remain responsible for justice. The principle carries forward. Societies should not crush the poor. The mechanism is a matter of prudence, how much the state does versus empowering families and local partners. Objection number 2. SNAP doesn't replace families or churches. Fair point. SNAP doesn't forbid anyone else from helping. The concern is crowd out and expectations. When a large, distant program becomes the default, closer duties atrophy and help turns impersonal. That's a design critique, not a denial that emergency aid can save lives. Possible objection number 3. Without federal programs, kids will go hungry. Now, I don't think you or I is arguing for letting any children starve. The case is ordered aid, quick, child-first help as a backstop paired with local delivery, relational accountability, and policies that push responsibility back up the ladder to parents and kin where possible. Possible objection number 4. You're redefining abortion to dodge hard cases. No, the definition targets intentional feticide. Keeping that distinction clear protects necessary medical care for women while also protecting the unborn from intentional killing. Precision prevents both overcriminalization and loopholes. Let's do a little bit of quick kind of Q&A on abortion here. Is treating an ectopic pregnancy an abortion? No, under our definition, you're treating a life-threatening condition. The embryo's death is a foreseen side effect, not the goal. Possible question number 2. What about removing pregnancy tissue after a miscarriage? That's not an abortion because the child has already died. Procedures after fetal death are not an elective abortion. Number 3. Why not just say ending a pregnancy? Answer, because that phrase hides the real question. Do you intend to kill the child? We oppose intentional feticide, not emergency deliveries or miscarriage care. Question number 4. Late term are not banning care for catastrophic maternal illness. No, deliver the baby and treat the mom. Aim to save both lives. Never aim at a child's death. Guys, definitions matter. Elective abortion, an intentional killing of the unborn. That's a justice issue. Miscarriage care, ectopic treatment, and early delivery to save the mother are not what I'm advocating to ban. Duties are real, but different. Protecting life is the state's core job. Caring for the poor is primarily a family and community, with the state as a backdrop, not a substitute. Compassion needs design. Feed kids now, yes. Build systems that restore parental responsibility and embed and empower local hands to do that, not replace them. Consistency beats slogans. Can we agree on that? It's consistent to oppose elective abortions and critique federal welfare design while insisting that no child go hungry. If this helped lower the temperature and raise the clarity, share it with a friend who's been frustrated. We can disagree on mechanisms without losing sight of what really matters, protecting life and caring for people in ways that actually worked. If you've enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments and share it with somebody else.